Hello, today I will be showing you how to make a little jewelry wall holder thing. So I am using air dry clay, and the first thing that you are going to do is knead it so that you get any air bubbles out. This will prevent it from cracking as it dries. Then I'm just cutting this in half here, and then I'm going to flatten it out to the best that I could. I would suggest putting like newspaper or a plastic bag underneath. That just helps with cleanup later. But the plastic bags weren't the best, but they worked. They were just all that I had. So here I am just rolling out the piece of clay, the slab of clay, and then I'm taking some very watered down slip, and slip is just watered down clay. So I'm just then using the slip to smooth it out, and then I have a cardboard square, and I'm using that as kind of like my template to trace out how big I want my jewelry holder to be. And then you just cut it out, and I will leave it to dry for a little bit. After it's like all smoothed out and is looking good, I decided to like put in little lines to kind of make it look more interesting, and then I'm just marking where I want like the ring holders, necklace holder things to be. I later decided to only do 5 of the holders instead of all 9. So here I am just rolling out a coil, and this will make the little knobs, the little things that you would put the rings, necklaces, bracelets, whatever on. So you just roll it out like you would with to make like a snake or something. It's a coil. And then I'm just cutting them to about the size that I would like, and I'm making sure that they're all even. Again, like when I was first making this, I planned on doing all of those spaces, but I later decided to just do 5. So I'm cutting out like 10 of those. It is a good idea to have like one extra if like something happens or it breaks or something. So now I'm just like rounding out one edge of it to kind of make it look more, what would the shape be like? I'm just like rounding it out. So I've let those all dry for a little bit, and now I am going to score and slip the little things together. So I have my slip there, and to make slip you just do water and clay and mix it up. Sometimes you have to like let it sit a few days just to like let the clay kind of dissolve, I guess. And then to score it, you just take like a needle tool type thing, or like toothpick, something pointy, or even a fork, and you just make little like cross hatches in it. And then you score both pieces of clay that you'll be attaching together. So you can see the little score marks on the back of it, and then the little holder things. I don't know what to call them. So then I just put the slip on one side, and then I put it onto I put them together. And then I take a very small coil of clay and wrap it around where the 2 pieces of clay meet, and this just helps it be more sturdy. It just kind of like reinforces it a little bit, and it can be very difficult to smooth it out because this is pretty small. So just keep that in mind if you have trouble working with like small items. It may be best to just make it a little bit bigger. Of course, if you plan on putting like rings on this, you do have to make sure that your ring will fit on it. And I don't have a lot of experience working with air dry clay, but I know with like regular ceramic clay, it does shrink as it dries. So just keep that in mind too. And so yeah, here I'm just smoothing everything out, kind of making it look all nice. In some of the small places, tools are going to be a friend. It's going to be very helpful. Really you can use whatever you can find. Like that wood piece that I had was like a chopstick and it worked pretty good. So there I'm just gluing on the other two so that I have 5 little places to hen. I did have all 9 of the spaces filled, but it just looked too crowded and I didn't think that it would work the best for putting I mainly made it for my rings, but it definitely does work with necklaces too, and it looks pretty nice. I think I could even have made a bigger one, but this was my first one making it. This was my first time making it. I wasn't really sure how it would look. And so yeah, here you can see me putting I was putting them on and then I decide not to. So if you decide to take something off of your piece, you can just if it's already attached and scored and slipped, you can just cut it off with I'm using a needle tool, or you could try to kind of gently rip it off, and then you can always add more clay on top if it's not too dry, and to fill in those gaps. So here I am going and filling in or putting the reinforcements, I should say. Just a very thin coil, and with that you don't have to score and slip it because it is thin enough where as you smooth out that small coil that you put around, it kind of just adheres to the rest of the clay. So the scoring and slipping of clay is more for the bigger pieces. If it's something real small, you probably don't need to score and slip, but the scoring and slipping definitely does ensure that it will stick. Because if you don't score and slip, there's always the chance that it will break off. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So now I have them all attached, and then for air dry clay, you're going to want to, or any clay I should say, you will want to let it dry out slowly. So I had it in a plastic bag and I kind of sealed it up pretty good, and then after a while I kind of opened it up a little bit so that some air could get in, because if you go and have it sit out without you just have it out in the open, it will crack and not dry out evenly. So that's just something that you want to think about. So here I am just making the little hole for where it will hen from. When you do this, you do want to keep in mind that you'll need to have quite a bit of space. You want some clay there to hold it. And then I am on to painting after it has dried out. Let it dry out for a few days, longer than you think, just to make sure that it really is dry, because you don't really want to put paint on it when it's still wet. So I'm just using acrylic paint, and I decided to do all black, just one solid color. I was thinking of adding some details and gold or something on top of the black, but I decided not to because I think having the jewelry on there will make it more interesting to look at, I guess. And I don't work a lot with air dry clay. I have most experience with ceramic clay, so I wasn't really sure exactly how well it will work. So yeah, I'm just using acrylic paint, paintbrush. I let it dry out for a very long time. I did try to paint it before, and then I think it was too wet and the paint just peeled right off. So if the clay still feels cold, it's probably still wet. So you don't want to have any cold spots, and if you have any thin spots that seem to be drying out faster than the rest, you can just put some wet paper towel over it. And then I'm painting the back. I always like to have my ceramic pieces finished on all sides. It just looks more complete to me, so I paint the back. You don't have to, because it's just gonna be on the wall, so you're not really gonna see it, but for me, I like it. And then I decided to put like a clear sealant on it. I wanted to make it glossy. I've always liked the glossy finish on ceramic pieces. So there I am, just spraying it. I just did, I think, 1 layer on the back and then like 2 or 3 layers on the front side. So yeah, I'm there spraying the front. And this was just like the Mod Podge like sealant and glossy, and here's the finished piece. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching. Bye.